So I don't think anything fundamentally has changed about cryptocurrency in terms of the value of it as a long-term investment. That may seem weird. Yeah, it's been a bloodbath over the past 3 months. We're in what they're calling the crypto winter. And it's really hard to tell. It's a little scary. It's really hard to tell when the bottom is officially in. So any recommendation I make, take with a grain of salt. Why? Because the bottom might not be in. You know, if I was looking at Solana at $50, looking at my chops going, Solana is as low as $50. Wow, what a great buy. Now it's $27. So keep that in mind. It hasn't finished its plummet. I don't know. Could bottom out at $7. It's not out of the question. Could it go as low as $2? Not really sure. The problem with crypto is also the promise of crypto is that there's no such thing as relative valuations. Whereas in the stock market, you know, a stock is officially tied to the earnings of the company. The price of the stock is officially related relative to the earnings of the company. There's no such indicator in crypto. So we have our own makeshift type of metrics like daily active users and things like that, where we try to assess the value of the coin. But it's all a guessing game at this point because the market hasn't matured to the point where you can actually make adequate assessments along those lines. So when there's a bloodbath, you know, a lot of things can get pummeled down to almost pretty much non-existent. But that doesn't mean the logic of the project, of why I thought the project was a good investment, has changed. And honestly, this may sound absurd, but I was saying that Polygon was a good investment at $2 a coin, and now it's 37 cents a coin. and I still say it's a good buy. Nothing has fundamentally changed about the logic of the investment. Yes, you have to be careful because I don't know that the bottom has officially entered. It's really hard to say. But the logic of the use case was this, okay? I was just listening to Kevin O'Leary, actually, and he put it all in perspective for me. Kevin O'Leary, if you don't know, is Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, is officially the show that put his name on the map. It's a really fun show. My wife and I watch it pretty much every Friday night. But he's still bullish on crypto, and the logic is really simple. We are now under $1 trillion in total asset for the cryptocurrency industry as a whole, okay? We were up as high as 3 trillion. We will be back at 3 trillion at some point once the market recovers. And where crypto is headed in the next 10 years, anywhere from 10 trillion to 50 trillion collectively, conservatively. Maybe 15 years, but it will get there, which means these investments right now are really good long-term investments. Not every coin, you know, there are caveats to everything. Crypto it's hard to predict because some technology that seems good like Solana was starting to struggle technologically. You know, Polygon is good technologically. These things could be obsolete by some new better coin that comes out, you know, a year from now that makes them all obsolete. That could still happen. I don't think it will happen, but it could. You always have to have that in the back of your mind. But nothing has fundamentally changed. And there's some really good opportunities out there. Always take it with a grain of salt. Always be careful. Crypto moves fast. And why it moves so fast is there's no such thing as relative valuation. There's no way to really accurately assess the value of a coin. Some of the metrics that I use are daily active users, how many projects are going up on the ecosystem. That's why I said Solana. That's why I said Polygon. But keep in mind there is a big, huge catalyst waiting in the wings that hasn't entered yet. There's institutional investors. If you know anything about actual investing, that's where the real money is. It's not with the retail investors. Institutional investors are where the real economic might is, and they have not invested in crypto at all. 90% of their balance sheets have no crypto on them. And at some point, they're going to start investing in crypto. That's a given. Whether that happens in a year, whether that happens in 2 years, nobody can safely predict. But that's why some of these investments look really good for the long term, because they are not going to have options. You know, Kevin O'Leary understands how institutions work because he works with them all the time. The other guy who I mentioned in my videos is Raoul Paul, who also used to work for institutions. And he was phenomenally bullish on Solana at $200 a coin. Keep that in mind now that it's trading at $27 a coin. Yes, be careful. Yes, the bottom hasn't hit, and you can buy it at 27, licking your chops, thinking, this will be back up at 200 before I know it, and watch it drop down to 7. Nobody can accurately predict when that bottom actually sets in. And some of these coins will go under. But one of the things I'm looking at right now is Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity was trading as high as $250 a coin. Not a single thing has changed about the economics of that particular game. But there's a lot of people playing that game and nothing's changed. What's happened in the meantime is, crypto, everyone's panicking and everyone, it's basically fear. When fear enters the market, someone goes boo and everybody sells everything they own. Boo and everybody sells everything. Quick, sell it all. That's what happens. Boo, sell it all. And, there's all these weird things going on where every new day you see some sort of, because of that, what happened with Luna, you see just today is Saturday, there was something that happened with US dollar coin, a Tether coin, I think it was. Don't remember exactly what happened, but some new thing appears on the horizon. Somebody goes boo, and everybody sells. So that's where we're at right now. But that one day will stop being the case. There are two types of fear in crypto. There's panic fear and fear of missing out. And fear of missing out at some point will re-enter the program, and then people are going to start, funneling money back into a project like Axie Infinity. And I could easily see it going from 17 now to 50 within a very short period of time. Keep in mind that that's what started a lot of these projects. Almost every coin that you see that trades at above $50 a coin started out at 80 cents, at least. I tell my wife that all the time, and it never fails to blow her mind. Yes, when Luna, a lot of people will tell you the tale now of Luna, they bought it at $100 and watched it collapse to zero. But they forget to mention that there were a lot of other people who bought it when it was 80 cents a year ago and watched it shoot up to $100 a coin. That can still happen in crypto, and it can't happen anywhere else. That can't happen in the stock market, can't happen anywhere else. It can happen in crypto routinely, and it happens often. The only thing you need to make sure you do is when things, soar in value, sell and take some profits. But other than that, this market this too shall pass. The day's coming when this market will officially bottom out, and then you'll see money go pouring back into space, and that money will come quickly. So I say, be careful. You shouldn't have all your investments in any single cryptocurrency. I shouldn't have to say that at all. I hope nobody does. I've seen people say things in comment section that blow my mind though. Like, I put everything in Cardano. Cardano's a decent coin. It's a decent project, has a chance of doing well. But you should diversify in terms of these projects. Why? Because any of them could be tomorrow's winner, and something could come along that makes it obsolete. So you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. So you should have roughly 30 in your basket of decent projects, and even some junk if you want, a fun coin like a Dogecoin or a Shiba Inu. My friend rode Shiba Inu up, put a couple $100 in Shiba Inu. 2 months later, it was worth $4,000 or something like that. That's what can happen in crypto, and that can still happen again. So you just have to make sure you take profits when it does. Right now we're in, a period where everyone's just afraid. But that period will pass. It's a really good time to accumulate, if you have cash sitting on the sidelines, to accumulate projects that are still good projects. Sandbox is still a good project. Mana is still a good project. Axie Infinity is still a good project. Nothing fundamentally has changed about the economics, the fundamentals of these things. And that's a weird word when it comes to crypto, but I mean, those are still metaverse games that people are playing and logging into. That's the economics. So, don't be afraid. Be of good cheer. 10 or 20% of you should be invested around the boards. 10 to 20% of your total investment should be in crypto. That's it. Other than that, crypto's high risk. Maybe you could put a lot more in Bitcoin if you want. I consider Bitcoin different than crypto, but that's just me. So I say, don't be afraid. Put some money back on the table, start nibbling at some of these things and see what happens. At some point, there will be a really obvious bottom. I don't know when, nobody can predict that, but at some point, money will start pouring back into these projects and they'll shoot up really quickly. They'll go from, they're now, what happens now is, you go, oh my gosh, Solana is $50 a coin. I can't believe how cheap it is. You buy Solana, then you watch it go down to $27 a coin. You're like, wait a minute. And then there's no telling, it might not happen again. You buy it now and it could easily go down to $7 a coin. So be careful. If that bothers you, if that type of volatility makes you uneasy, you should not be putting enough money that you should just be putting money that you can afford to lose, and then don't even think about it. Put it into something that's a worthy project, like any of the names I mentioned, and forget about it. Don't even look at it, until it's going up again, until the good times are back. I wouldn't even look. I don't even look. But my wife tells me about crypto, I didn't want to hear about it. So there you have it, kids. That's my analysis. I'll be going into this, the institutional investors is really where the money's at. Keep in mind, that's where real money exists. And that money has not entered the crypto space at all yet. And that's why Kevin O'Leary is in favor of regulations. As I said in one of my other videos, I am deeply skeptical that those regulations will be anything other than counterproductive. But he's thinking that's what will enable institutional investors to start plowing into things. And there's only a handful of coins that they are going to be licensed, that they are going to be able to purchase. And there's going to be based on market cap. So the top 5 winners, when the institutional investors will start pouring in, those coins are going to be off the charts. Who knows how high they will get. So there you have it. That's my analysis. As with all things crypto, subject to change. Everything is subject to change. Just don't invest. Make sure you take profits. Be careful, and don't get too fearful. If you're too fearful about what happened to your coin, you put more money than you can afford to lose. Only put money into something you can afford to lose, and then don't worry about it at all. If it's a good project, it'll go back up. If it's not a good project, should have picked someone else. You should have picked a different guy. Oh, thanks, Greg. You're welcome. That's my analysis. So, there you have it, kids. That is all for now. Be of good cheer.